Hey everyone, I got a zinger for you. This is great stuff right here. I love this. I just discovered this the other day. I kind of known it for a long time, but it's really well articulated. And this has to do with our habits, triggers, our environment, and our results, okay? Our habits, our triggers, our environment, and our results. So I think it's pretty true, and I think I've known this, and you probably know this too, is that you are where you are because of your habits up to this point in your life, whether they're good or bad, whether it's whatever circumstances you're in, it's because of the choices that you've made. And the choices, of course, repeated over time become habits, and groups of habits become routines. So habits have made you what you are. Now, let's say that you don't like where you are and you want to change. You want to do something different. You want to get out of your rut. Well, a lot of us can hope for change, and we can set ourselves up and see all kinds of cool things. We go to a motivational seminar, right? A motivational seminar, you get all fired up and you get home and you go back to the exact same thing that you were. The next morning you wake up, you do the same thing in the same place, and you get all frustrated because, man, last night I thought I could take on the whole world, and now today I feel like a loser again. Anybody ever feel that way? I know I have. I've been to some of those, and they're fantastic. They're great. But what's broken about that is me, not the motivational seminars. Motivational seminars serve a purpose. What's wrong is that you and I, any of us, go back to the routines, the triggers, and the environment that we were in that lock us into a certain way of doing things, a certain way of thinking, and hence a certain amount of results or lack thereof. So you go to this awesome seminar, you come home, and you don't change anything. Your triggers, and I'll talk about these individually, your triggers, your environment, and your routines. Your habits. You don't change any of them. But you're all fired up and you're going to change. Well, nothing is going to change because your triggers, your environment, and your routines are what determine your success, not your words. You don't just go, okay, from now on I'm a different person. I'm setting some goals. It's a new year. Blah, blah, blah. Those are words. Those are great. It's a good place to start, but those do nothing unless you change something physical about your routine, about yourself, about your environment. So you've got triggers. These are things that spark something. Okay, so this is a reminder. For example, if you are trying to remember to drink water every day, drink more water or something. Maybe you're trying to develop a new habit. Well, having a water bottle with you at all times, you'll see it. It's a trigger, right? It's a visual device, a visual way of triggering things. I do this at home, like when I'm going upstairs, or I know I'm headed upstairs and there's something that I find downstairs that needs to go upstairs. I'll set it on the stairs so it's in my way, and I know when I'm headed upstairs I'm going to have to trip over it as I'm going up. So I see it and I'm like, oh yeah, I was going to bring that upstairs. And so instead of taking it running upstairs, I set it on the stairs and it's there, it's in my way. I have to pass by it, so I pick it up. So I never forget that way. It's a way that I built into my routine because I know I'm putting it in my own way, I guess. So those are examples of triggers. Anything that visually reminds you of what you're supposed to be doing, or visually reminds you of a habit that you're working on. So of course, habits are the choices made over a period of time that become natural or second nature to us. And so what changes are you making in your habits? You come back from this amazing motivational seminar and you're ready to take on the world, and what are you doing different now? What are you doing with your morning? When you first wake up, your feet hit the ground, are you doing exactly what you did yesterday, or are you doing something different? Okay, in order to achieve different results, you have to make different actions. You have to do something new, and that, in the heart of it, goes to your habits. That's right at the heart. That's right at the thick. You really want to make changes, change your habits. If you're not sure how to do that, there's whole seminars and books and all kinds of things on habits and breaking the mindset. There's different ways of doing that. There's habit stacking, so you can piggyback one habit on another. For example, if I'm trying to remember to floss my teeth, if I have to, I'm going to tie my floss to my toothbrush. So I pull out my toothbrush, oh, there's my floss. I brush my teeth, I floss. Then when I'm done, I tie it back up again. So I'm piggybacking one habit onto another because I already have the habit down of brushing my teeth, but I don't have the habit down of flossing. So that's an example. Anyways, so there's a lot of different strategies for developing habits and building in habits. the last thing I want to talk about is environment. So you've got your routines, your triggers, your habits, well, routines and habits together, but your environment's the last thing. If you're going to go on a weight loss program and you want to lose weight, you're going to go and you've got all this crap in the cupboard. You got to get rid of it. That's part of your environment that's going to keep you from losing weight. So you change your environment, right? What goes on around you that keeps you from moving forward? What clouds your vision? What are distractions? I mean, the environment doesn't have to do with like your physical surroundings, but also online. If you're expecting to get a lot done, but you have your Facebook page open, it's sitting right there, so every time a notification, boom, that little chime pops up, boom, you look over, you see the little red one, and you just can't resist. You're like, oh, I gotta know what that is. Maybe somebody in my network did something important. I gotta know about it. So it's really hard to hold back because the curiosity kills us, right? I know you know what I'm talking about. I'm not above it. I'll be the first to admit it happens to me too. So we have to take action in cleaning up our environment. Don't just rely on your self-control to say, oh yeah, I can ignore those things, because once you've already looked over there, you've already not ignored it. Your brain already is wondering what it is. Even if you don't click on it, it's already slowing down and interrupted your focus on whatever it is that you were working on, because now you know there's a red one, and maybe consciously you're not thinking about it, but subconsciously your brain's going, red notification, red, oh, now it's a 2, there's 2 things, oh, what happened? And even though you're not clicking on it, you know it's there, and it's tripping you up whether you like it or not. So that's an example. Clean up your environment. Take away anything that can distract you, especially if you're doing deep work, if you're doing something meaningful, writing, something that requires a great deal of concentration. You know, if you're just driving like me, I like to listen to podcasts or even just talk to myself while I'm recording while I drive, because it's a whole different ballgame where, you know, I can pay attention and watch the road and still talk and give meaningful, hopefully meaningful, ideas and capture them for you. So there are times when you can do multiple things at once, like chewing gum and walking, of course, not a problem. So when you're doing deep work, meaningful work, when you're writing or you're reading or you're learning, absorbing, that kind of a thing, you really want to remove the distractions. So working on your habits, clean up your environment. That's the third bit of advice. So you've got triggers, habits, and environment. Those are the things that are locking you in. Those are the reasons why when you come back from a motivational seminar, you're not seeing any change. It's because you haven't made any changes in those 3 areas. And that's the truth. You're coming back, you're all excited, you've got words, and words are nothing more than fluffy air coming out of your mouth that sound good and then they go away. My kids use them all the time when they make promises about things and then they don't keep their promises. I know you know what I'm talking about. So this stuff is really where it's at the heart of the issue of change and of moving forward and doing something new. So if you want to do something new with your life, start there. Start with your environment, start with your triggers, and start with your habits. Look around, look at them, dig deep into them. And see what's wrong, see where there are areas for improvement, and start today on making those changes. Then your words will mean something. Then when you come back from an amazing Tony Robbins event, it'll matter and it'll actually work when you say, you know what, today is the last of my former life and the first day of the rest of my life. I'm making some changes. Those are the changes that we're talking about.